All right, greetings. Aki Amin on Rwanda Safo, the Success Scholar. Thank you for tuning in, listening in. It's a beautiful day. It's a great day. It's a wonderful day. Hope you all have been productive and you are enjoying this wonderful day. Well, hmm, yes. I can be a little petty, but I'm gonna drop some a little bit of wisdom here. Many people know I've had some a little bit of critiques for someone I thought that certainly was on point and considerate and conscious of just continuing to be considerate of myself and my work and ultimately being supportive of that. But I certainly many people know that I'm a supporter of Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz. Certainly, he's an honorable brother, and he is one that has integrity, and he is an attorney who has fought for Black people using his law background, and so he is as well the one of the leaders in the Black Lawyers for Justice. Um, and I feel that over the past few weeks where I have attempted to reintroduce him to others. I felt like that people should, just be a little respectful of people who are doing real work. And so, unfortunately, at this particular time, the Black Authority, as AKA Jason Black, he's conditioned, and we have to break these conditions, meaning he's classically conditioned to just be a YouTube talker. And unfortunately, I'm going to be the one to break those eventually, of course. So, but I'm going to have to do it with your help because many of you have gotten lazy and you really don't want to do anything besides watch a damn YouTube video. The real work has to be done in person, people to people, person to person, organizing, walking the streets of the community, uh, meeting with families and community leaders, connecting in the schools. I was just at a middle school the other day, working with the young people, taking them to different places and, expanding their minds beyond what is, they felt was their immediate environment. So, with that being said, rather recently, for those who may not know, Attorney Shabazz has been representing the family of uh, Emmett Till, which I thought was a very noble and historic, uh, you know, idea. And unfortunately, uh, many out here that, who are part of the system have attempted to diminish and diminish the work of Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz. That work has been diminished or attempted to be diminished by Tariq Nasheed. And I have to look at this. I'm just like, and not to be classist, but he has like a ninth grade education of sorts. Attorney Shabazz is an attorney at law and has represented dozens and perhaps hundreds and influenced hundreds of cases all throughout the United States. But Tariq, that who has questionable ethics and morals, and has expressed uh, very hostile opinions about various types of African people throughout the world, uh, has unfortunately influenced the Black Authority to be uh, very not proficient, even when someone like myself has tried to encourage him. And so now I'm to the point where I have to offer these critiques because I'm doing the most relevant, tactful work to move the people forward. And what do I mean by that? Well, a few things coming in Baltimore. There are several major operations happening The president of Ghana will be coming April the 19th through the 23rd. I would certainly hope that, conscious workers, thinkers, builders will make themselves available to mark their schedules to be present, to be there for that. And there are going to be several of us. I believe the vice president of Colombia will be in the Baltimore area, and the prime minister of Jamaica will be in Baltimore. And I believe the prime minister of Barbados and the former prime minister of Grenada. So several individuals will be present, and of course, many Black people who are from this area will be present. So that's going to be an amazing experience. But what am I talking about? Why do I say the new Black media aren't acting so new? And TBA outshined, did I spell shine right? Yeah, by Roland Martin. So many people may or may not know, but Jason Black, or the Black Authority, has offered critiques of Roland Martin over the years. And I'm just simply saying you got to do the work, right, in order to be able to offer these critiques. And you got to be able to sustain that level of work, right? You have to, push certain causes. You have to be the voice, the media for the right causes. Now, outside of the Emmett Till family, which Attorney Shabazz represents, there's a case in Rankin, Rankin County, Mississippi, where six white police officers, I ain't gonna say allegedly, but for what it's worth, allegedly, and I don't know all the details, but they came into a young man's house, cuffed him, and apparently assaulted him for like 90 minutes and punched him, tased him, kicked him, threw eggs at him, attempted sodomize some, I believe, and then ultimately put a gun into his mouth and pulled the trigger, right? So I'm just thinking this is the most egregious case of human and civil rights violations that you could possibly imagine. And we hear a lot of cases happen, but I don't think, and I asked Brother Carl Nelson, have you heard of anything like that? Have you heard of someone putting a gun to someone in someone's mouth and pulling the trigger? Like, I don't think, we've heard a lot of cases, y'all. I want you to subscribe to my page, my Raising Conscience and Capital on my YouTube page. But I'm just like sort of shocked that for whatever reason this is like going on and like nobody's saying anything. So I'm just curious. Like, but Roland Martin and attorney Malik Shabazz. So let me just kind of go to that interview. Let me post it up, and you see why I said is Roland Martin outshining Jason Black. Because Jason Black dropped the ball or just scared to interview attorney Malik Shabazz. So here it is.
Money makes this possible. Checks and money orders go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com.
Hi, I'm Amber Stevens-West from The Carmichael Show.
Hi, my name is Latoya Luckett, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, folks, so we're just telling you there, of course, about the story out of Louisiana. Let's go to Mississippi, where the Department of Justice, they're investigating possible civil rights violations by Mississippi Sheriff's Department after white sheriff's deputies allegedly shot a black man in the mouth while handcuffed during a suspected drug raid last month. We told you about Michael Corey Jenkins. Of course, that story last night. He was at a friend's house when 6 white Rankin County Sheriff's deputies burst through the front door. Folks, there are huge discrepancies between what the cops are saying and what the Jenkins family says took place on January 24th. Joining us now is the attorney for the family, Malik Shabazz. So Malik, you were at the Department of Justice today. And what the same thing about this particular?
I was dealing with the Emmett Till.
Got it.
I'm attorney for the Emmett Till family against the case against Carol and Bryant.
Right.
But the Department of Justice has opened up a formal investigation into the criminal actions of the 6 white Rankin County Sheriff deputies that on January 25th illegally broke in to the residents were Michael Jenkins and Eddie Terrell Parker, 2 men who I represent, broke into this residence and began a 90-minute torture session. This was no rash action, no running, no resisting. Michael is not a felon, he wasn't resisting. But over the course of this 90 minutes, they handcuffed the men immediately, had bound them, and for 90 minutes, they beat them, tasered them repeatedly, kicked them, punched them, and even waterboarded them. You heard about that from Iraq, where you just pouring liquids on the people to get them to confess. I mean, really dogging and humiliating and abusing these men until after pointing the guns at them repeatedly. We've done a thorough investigation on all of this. After pointing the guns and threatening to kill them in this 90-minute torture melee, one of the deputies put the gun in Michael's mouth and fired, okay? And the bullet came out of Michael's neck, almost killed him. Luckily, he'd be like Tyree Nichols, but he's not. And so therefore—
But his tongue was surgically removed.
His tongue he barely had his tongue, and he had to do all kind of operations. He eats now through a feeding tube. He cannot eat. He eats through liquid through a feeding tube. He has permanent cognitive damage, permanent damage to his eyesight, and other serious injuries as a result of being shot. So the news is not just civil rights violations, is that criminal charges should be imminent. And I think that they are imminent based on Michael's interview that I witnessed with the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation.
And they're leading the investigation, not the county.
No, the Department of Justice has now got involved.
Well, that's federal civil rights violation.
Yeah.
But in terms of the criminal side, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is leading it, but not the Sheriff's Department.
No. It's Mississippi policy that the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation investigates.
Any body camera footage for these sheriff's officers?
There should be, but I can't confirm it right now. Mississippi is notorious for concealing and denying victims the chance to look at the body cam footage. That's going to change.
If this was a drug raid and they were there 90 minutes, why not handcuff them and take them down to the Sheriff's Department and do the investigation there? 90 minutes at the house?
That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, if you have an arrestable offense or you have probable cause, Roland, you arrest a person. You take them into custody. Most of these incidents we see, there are rapidly evolving circumstances. They're running, there's resisting, or there's some kind of interaction. This is 90 minutes of intent, of intentionally planned out conduct. I mean, some of it is horrific, then the other parts of it are absolutely juvenile. I went to the house, I'll give you the pictures at some point. They threw eggs at these men for 90 minutes. There's eggs all on the wall. Eggs literally on the wall. They use racial slurs in the course of this. So the Justice Department should be seeking hate crime charges. But and there's even some sexual deviancy in this thing. I mean, I'm talking about attempted sodomy.
So they were accusing them of dating white women?
Well, this is a rural area in Rankin County. Now, Rankin County deputies are notorious for their abuse and murder. So I do want to say that Black Lawyers for Justice is opening up an entire investigation into their department, all of their murders. But in this specific case, they came in without a warrant. These are the only Black men in a 2 mile and basically a 2 mile radius. So the white officers come in saying, basically this is our area, and y'all are not going to be dealing with our women and so forth. So they came in basically saying that y'all are not wanted here, and we run this area. It's very rural, and they're used to getting away with this, because most brothers in Mississippi say that once they charge you with something, you better plead guilty, or otherwise you're going to jail for a long time. The problem here, Brother Roland, is that he was shot at the end of this melee. I believe it was intentional that he was shot, and then that's when the cat was out the bag.
Well, shot and survived.
Shot and survived. He was shot in the mouth, and he was in the ICU for a couple of weeks, and he survived. But it was one of the most outrageous acts of police brutality that I've seen, because I've never seen a organized torture session of this length that Mr. Jenkins and Mr. Terrell Parker faced.
Now, have they filed any charges against Jenkins and Terrell?
They have, but these charges are manufactured, and these charges are I expect all charges to be dropped. Expect all charges to be dropped. They're absolutely manufactured. Originally, the NBI and the police put out a statement that Michael had a gun. Look at what they're saying now. They're not saying anything. They're not saying he had a gun. They're saying they're going to investigate, and if anything's wrong, they're going to take action. The officers are covering up. We have them on the defensive in this hour as attorneys. Myself, Attorney Trent Walker from Mississippi, and my partner Reginald Green out of Atlanta. We have them on the defensive absolutely right now. We're pressing the case. We want these officers jailed. They must be charged not with just negligent homicide. They must be charged with attempted murder. All of them, because nobody intervened. Like in the Nichols case, no one intervened to stop them. Not one officer says this is ridiculous or this is outrageous. No one intervened. Now, we've done a very thorough investigation.
Did they have a warrant?
No warrant. No warrant exists, no warrant presented, no evidence of a warrant.
So the supposed drug raid, but you have no warrant.
That's what they do in Rankin County, Mississippi. They do what they want. Despite the overwhelming tide against police brutality, you would think, well, they would want to be conscious of this. No, but it's a permanent, arrogant mentality that cannot even be rooted out when they see other officers go to jail. This has to be rooted out by these 6 white deputies going to jail. I mean, I want to see them charged and headed to prison the way those Black officers. They should be as hard on these white 6 deputies as they are on the 6 Black officers that were responsible for Nichols' death in Memphis.
Are these officers still on the streets? Are they put on administrative leave?
We don't know their status right now.
So
they're not in jail.
The sheriff hasn't communicated?
The sheriff is now investigating. The reports are that the deputies are lawyering up. And I can say that the MBI, many people have issues with the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation. But from what I saw in the interview with Michael and Mr. Terrell, I think that they're doing an honest investigation. And the MBI promised me yesterday that if this is as he says it is, Jenkins and Parker, that if it is as he says it is, then they're going to give them up, because they're saying that they make all cops look bad. And I know that they do.
The family has started a GoFundMe because obviously they have legal fees, they have medical expenses as well, correct?
GoFundMe, yes. GoFundMe is Michael Corey Jenkins on GoFundMe. Michael Corey
folks,
Jenkins.
do y'all have it there? Go ahead and pull it up.
On GoFundMe. Michael Corey Jenkins on GoFundMe.
The thing here with these stories, and we've been talking about just case after case after case, this is why you have to have an extensive George Floyd Justice Act, but you also have got to have states counties and cities moving aggressively, because at the end of the day, these things have not subsided. They continue.
Okay, and that's where attorneys come in. That's where community activism and community organizers come in. In the state of Mississippi, I do want to give credit for the great organizing efforts that the community has done to help on the local level. So therefore, I have to thank the New Black Panther Party. I have to thank the Elmer Geronimo Pratt Gun Club. I have to thank all the Mississippi activists from on Jaheim McMillan's case. Bless them. Down there in Brookhaven, Mississippi, D. Monterio Gibson and his mama, they got those officers charged on murder charges. This comes from the efforts of the grassroots movements that that I'm a part of. So it takes a collective effort, and hopefully things are changing. But I can promise you that Mississippi is the top battleground as we go into 2023. When it comes to police violence and racial violence, Mississippi is the top battleground.
Folks, Mary Jenkins is Michael Corey Jenkins' mother. So that's the actual GoFundMe. You put Michael Corey Jenkins in, look for Mary Jenkins. Again, they've already, the goal is to raise about $30,000. They're at $15,600 because, again, he is going to have extensive medical expenses. He's still in the hospital. Have they given?
He was out the hospital. He appeared at our news conference yesterday. He appeared.
How long did he spend in the hospital?
He was in the hospital. That's almost 3 weeks. 3 weeks. He had several surgeries he almost lost his life several times. I mean, his arteries, several surgeries to repair bleeding arteries. I mean, he barely made it out of there. Otherwise, Michael Jenkins would be a poster right now.
All right. Malik, keep us abreast of what happens next.
Okay. Khalid Muhammad, you said one time on
All right, so that was basically it. But let me now let's see here. I'm gonna do something. Let's see. I'm gonna call Rankin County Police Department right now. Line is busy. Line is busy. So this is Rankin County, Mississippi. 601 825-1645. I'll try again. Hold up. So I know. I got a little bit petty going on to put Jason Black name in this, but since some of you are so disorganized, unfocused, that you sit and lazily watch YouTube every single day, I got to put somebody's name so you can see who the real people that's doing the real work out here that don't have time to do a damn YouTube video because they too busy doing real work, like attorney Malik Shabazz is doing real things that can bring real true justice. And then the fact of the matter is that I brought this to Jason Black's attention rather recently. I'm not gonna keep begging you. How you gonna, all this stuff that's going on, but you ignore Malik Zulu Shabazz, right? You ignore the biggest case that you brag about. This is the biggest case that in history, and yelling, signing all Alex Joneses and asking for donations, or however you frame the thought that, and you got your people riled up to start throwing money at you. So I'm just simply saying that sometimes the loudest person on YouTube that don't do nothing else get the most, attention. And so all these people out here that don't want to do anything else, that want to stay hidden and scared, they don't want to come out in front and put themselves on video and go out into real people's faces and talk about issues like attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz. People like Jason Black haven't ever sent them a red cent, haven't encouraged his listeners to send them a red cent, haven't, sent anything to the family of Emmett Till. And now this big case, this is one of the biggest human rights violations that I can speculate on. I mean, who puts a gun in someone's mouth but a thug, right? So, this not gonna go away. Let me try call him back. Hold on. I'm try back one more time. I'm sure probably a bunch of people probably calling. Let's see. All right. Well, line busy. I don't have 601-825-1645. They probably it's in Brandon, Mississippi or something. Let me see. But so yeah. So I just wanted to drop that, y'all. So what I'm at 25 minutes, but definitely Attorney Shabazz is doing some significant work on this particular case. I wanted people, but you can go and Google Michael Jenkins, check it out in Mississippi. So I say stay on the front line, and of course, don't get too caught up. I want some of you to wake up and not get too caught up in watching YouTube. If you're scared, say you're scared. It's okay. It's okay. If you want to hide, just keep hiding and stay off the front line. But some people, some people are doing the work, and they shouldn't be called agents. And people like Jason Black, the Black Authority, certainly shouldn't listen to people like Tariq Nasheed that will refer to Malik Zulu Shabazz as an agent. It's very insulting to intelligent, workers, thinkers, people that's really been out here, really been around, really on the front line, not just doing the YouTube videos, making a damn DVD and calling that the movement, because it's not. And it's time. It's well over time that someone has some standards to address that. But I'm gonna do something else a little later. But I'm gonna address this other the other thing. So with Tariq. So all right, y'all. I'm out. Peace and blessings. Holla at the Success Scholar. Stay tuned and stay connected. Putting in real work or going to a next level. We out. Peace.